What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Married at First Sight edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife. And co-host, it's the one and only Teresa right there.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Who runs the show? Dogs. Who runs the show? Dogs.
I love dogs, and dogs are so important, and we still don't have a dog.
We don't have a dog, and woo! After seeing how much trouble a dog can cause in a relationship, Teresa.
Well, but they're like dogs being brought into a new relationship. When we are ready, we'll get a mutual dog. So it's not gonna be a trouble. Are you okay having a dog in the bed?
No. I don't, that's a tough question.
I don't mind if the dog sleeps in your feet, where your feet are.
Okay.
I don't think the dog should climb all the way up in the front.
That's kind of where I'm at. I don't mind the dog popping on the bed. I don't mind we're hanging out. It's Sunday morning. The sun's coming through the windows. The dogs pop up. They wake us up, right? That's fine. But to sleep, to try to get a solid 7 to 8 with a dog, I don't think that's for me.
You know how my parents love Fluffy the dog?
Shout out to Fluffy the dog. F the D, yes.
She cannot go on my parents' bed.
That's because she's
not allowed.
Oh, I thought it's because she's so old and she just doesn't have the capability.
No, she's not allowed.
Well, that's a well-trained dog.
She has a makeshift bed, like little doggy bed. That's a little elevated next to my mom's side of the bed. So she's like almost on the same level, but she cannot because my dad doesn't like it.
See, that's too much. I feel like that's almost rude. It's like you can get this close, but you dare step over into the human bed. You stay over there. I would say either come in bed, but we're going to say goodnight when it's time to sleep, or put a doggy bed in the bedroom so they can be over in the corner.
That's what I said.
But like on the floor.
It is on the floor.
But you said it's the same height as your parents' bed.
No, it's like it's like a fluffier, elevated bed.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, and you know, in the Czech Republic, our beds are way lower than in America. So when you put those two together, like Fluffy is like,
got it.
There.
You know how motorcycles sometimes have sidecars?
Yeah.
I was picturing that. I pictured like Fluffy had a side bed.
No, Fluffy's not on a side bed. She's too old for that.
Here's my problem solution for this episode. So we see a couples who may not move in or don't move in. Can Nicole's dogs just stay in one of these empty rooms?
Right?
Come on. They're not being used.
Very true. Very true.
That's what I do here. I solve problems. Because now you'll be in the same building as Chris and yourself, but you won't do 3 dogs to an apartment, but it'll be right down the hall. It's a problem solved, Teresa.
Well,
if Dom's not using the bedroom, let old Charlie boy sleep in there.
Charlie reminds me of Fudge.
A little bit. If Fudge found his way into the dryer and shrunk a little bit.
I mean, Fudge was a bigger baby. He was a little cuter.
All right. Yeah, it's our child. We're allowed to say that, I think.
Yes. It was our child for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, dog for a day. Fudge.
Yeah,
Love
I
you.
just got a little sad. I hope he's still kicking.
I mean, Fudge, the carousel of photos popped up. It popped up while we were watching this episode on Teresa's iPad, and then we just scrolled through.
It was beautiful.
Speaking of carousel, look at this. If you guys didn't see or if you guys didn't listen, we just did a collab with Constant Reality Check with Meredith. We're married. They're Meredith and Jack of Constant Reality Check. We did a recap of, help me out here, The Perfect Match.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get it.
I cannot remember that.
You're going to get it.
We did Perfect Match. It was a ton of fun. We have part 1 of that recap right here on this feed. Just scroll down 1 episode. And then part 2 is over there on their feed. So give it a listen. It was a good time. That show's out of control.
Out of control.
We love that show. So we got some watching to do this weekend.
Oh my gosh. We're going to finish it because we were supposed to just do 1 episode. And it's like, let's see how it goes. 1 episode. I'm like, oh my God, give me more.
Yeah, we watched all 4 almost in one sitting.
All of it.
But we talked about 1 episode, the first episode primarily, but then Teresa did a little rundown at the end of part 2.
Hey, you asked for it.
No, I did not. Meredith did. Meredith was very curious, but I watched along with you. I didn't need to hear your play-by-play. But you did well.
You love
did
that.
well.
Let's just say it.
So check out that collab. Also, we got to do a little housekeeping in addition to that. Follow us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. It's where you find out about fun things like collabs. It's where you see our memes. It's where you can message us. So shoot us a message, call in, let us know what are your thoughts on this season. We have a lot of thoughts. I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts. So at Married to Reality Pod on Instagram. Also, join us on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Married to Reality. So much is happening over there. The marquee show right now is Darcey and Stacey. And we cannot get enough of that.
Cannot.
We absolutely love talking about it. If you are not on the Patreon, well, you're not. If you're listening to this, you're probably not on the Patreon because we cut this part out on the Patreon. You don't have to hear us do our housekeeping on the Patreon. But if for some reason you listen to this version of it, well, Teresa had a bit of a cramp on the last episode of Darcey and Stacey. So
it lasted forever.
It was uncomfortable for all of us.
It was so bad.
Yeah, I'm going to have you eat a banana and drink a coconut water or something before we
Fuck that.
Before we pod. All right, you take
I
it easy.
hate coconut water.
But it's potassium and
I'll eat a banana if you give me one.
You eat a banana
I'll eat your
because
banana.
It got out of control. And you can see that on the Family Affair level of the Patreon. We do video for that level. We do audio for the Cousins Club. And so Darcey and Stacey's happening right now. We also kicked out a bonus of Love is Blind After the Altar. We did 3 episodes of that. So that's up there. And all sorts of fun things are going to be coming to the Patreon. So patreon.com/Married to Reality. Also, just follow this podcast, the one you're listening to right now. It's so easy to do. That way, if we drop a bonus or we feel frisky and we want to drop something else on the free feed, then you'll be subscribed. You'll get it. You won't have to think about it. It comes right to your device, and it's so easy to do. You just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash like it's as hot as Gina's bedding.
I don't think I
Her
know.
bed
Were there
was-
boob pillows?
No.
Oh.
But her bed and the whole bedding, the organization, that was like my vibe.
The bedding or the bed structure?
No, the bedding.
I didn't notice. I was...
Like, oh, she had all the pillows like we had, but she had more. It was a little bigger, a little more organized. She had this little throw blanket. I loved it. Loved it.
Well, you're not the one who puts the bed, who makes the bed, Teresa. I wonder if Clint will.
Who showed you how to do this?
Oh, you.
I gave you a class.
Oh, you wrote
Sometimes I need to remind you.
Step by step, you show me how to do that.
Sometimes I need to remind you to fluff the bedding.
You're right.
Sometimes you don't fluff it
I get
well.
lazy.
Well, I can tell, guys, when John really gets into it and he fluffs it up, it looks like a professional did it.
Whoa, I didn't know there was professional bed makers, but hello.
But then sometimes I can tell when John's a little tired and just does it quickly in the morning because it's uneven, it's not really fluffy.
I was going to say, why are we talking about this? But it is the housekeeping, and that makes a lot of sense. So smash it like it's as hot as Gina's bed. And last but certainly not least, if you haven't left a review, please leave a review. We love the love. We love the 5-star reviews. We read those on the main podcast, on the 90-day podcast, the Monday podcast. So if you haven't left a review, you can rate, you can review. If you write something, if it's 5 stars, we'll read it. So
yes, that's
please,
how we roll.
That's how we roll. All right. That's the housekeeping. Are you ready to get into this episode?
Let's do it.
I have so many thoughts. Let's get into this thing. Season 16, episode 8, Married at First Sight. Let's start with Nicole and Chris. And
yes.
I'm uncomfortable whenever the topic of dogs comes up with them. It comes up a lot throughout this episode, but specifically with them, I'm uncomfortable. I can't imagine how Nicole feels. I'm uncomfortable because I'm sitting there going, oh, Chris is so happy to have his dogs. So excited to see his dogs, talk about his dogs. And Nicole just has to grin and bear it.
I'm like, okay, you're being a little fancy.
Being a little tongue-tied. But she has to sit there and play cool and be happy and excited to see these dogs. She's missing her dog.
Well, I think Nicole is a dog person. So she sees a swell dog or dogs. She's happy. I think she's happy to meet Chris's dogs because they're going to be her dogs, right? I agree. She probably is thinking, oh, shit. Charlie isn't gonna live with us really, but I think she's happy to meet these new dogs. And I have to say, Nicole's being very cool about everything.
Nicole's like my favorite person on the show now.
I wrote it down. Do I really like Nicole? And it's like, and then I'm looking at her and she's really pretty. I don't know what happened to her the first like 1 or 2 episodes, but I was like, who's this Muppet?
Well,
but she's not.
But personality is so important.
Yeah.
When you look at someone and you find someone attractive or not. Personality is so important. In those first episodes, I didn't love her personality.
Yeah.
And now she's settling in and I'm starting to like her. And yeah, sure, she's very pretty. Her personality has either grown on me or has just did a little bit of a dial turn. And yeah, I find her very enjoyable. I think she's clearly here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel bad. Yes, she's happy to meet these swellers, Kobe and Coda, a couple of swellers, a couple of great looking dogs. Mm-hmm. She's happy to meet them. But in a week, she's going to be like, I miss Charlie. I wish Charlie was here.
Yeah, I thought they're going to be rotating.
Okay, I don't understand what that means, how that's going to work, but that to me that's worse. Put Charlie with your dad for 2 months. Give him some constant care and attention and a routine. To just be cycling dogs in and out to me seems not like the right move, but we'll see what they do.
Well, I think they should do it for this one simple reason, right? We'll do this dog meeting in the park. Someone finally did it right.
They did it right.
Yeah. So the dogs are on the leash, just sniffing at each other. It's going well. So then they let them run around in a doggy park, right?
Neutral area,
yeah.
Outdoors, off the leash. This
Perfect.
is what we do here.
Everyone's chilling. Everyone's happy. But they will be living together, right? Chris's dogs know each other. That's
Right.
why I think they should be rotating Charlie because that's all they can do. So those dogs get used to Charlie as well.
Yeah, but those dogs have been with each other, Coda and Kobe have been with each other for who knows how long. They know each other. It's fine. What's 2 more months without Charlie? It's nothing. If they get to know Charlie in 2 months, that's going to be fine.
Well, yeah, but I think they should. I think Charlie should come in here and there for sure.
I was just happy that Coda didn't hump the shit out of Charlie because Coda's one horny dog.
Oh my gosh, he was banging everything.
He was banging the shit out of that sofa and
the pillow.
And everything. Now that I would like to see. We talked about the boob pillow on 90 Day. You get a dog humping a boob pillow? Now we got some content, Teresa. But this is the exact reason why Colleen from Love is Blind would not move in.
Yeah,
with
apparently.
Matt. It was like,
Apparently.
dog's too horny.
I think you just need to, I had to say it, but you need to castrate them. I feel like that helps.
I don't know if that's the right word.
No?
I'm not a vet.
So what do you do?
Spay or neuter. Castrate sounds very aggressive. I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's the right thing to say.
That's what we say in Czech. We say kastrace.
All right.
So I just like,
Fidel castrate.
but you understand it, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it just seems very aggressive.
Just castrate the dogs.
Shout out to Chris's fake fireplace and his TV stand. I just don't want to gloss over that because of course he has that. You look at this guy and you go, he definitely bought one of those fake fireplace stands for $199 on sale, Home Depot. Pop the TV on there. This guy thinks he's Mr. Romance now.
Yeah, this fireplace I would not flex with that. Like fake fireplace, dude. I mean, there are some nice ones like we've seen. I think what was his? No, that was cheesy. The pilot from Atlanta that had like different colors on it. Remember?
Please.
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
Please. No, there are some. There's very nice gas fireplaces. But
Yeah.
this was electric boogie woogie woogie.
I hate those. It's too fake. Just put it. There is a fireplace on Netflix. That's
It's
much
the same
better.
exact thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's move-in day, and Chris's dogs get to move in.
Yeah.
These were some curious dogs. Dominique wishes Mac was as curious about her place as these dogs were as curious about this apartment.
But I have to say they're good dogs. They're just like chilling.
Yeah, they want to scope out the scene. No, these are lovable dogs, and all dogs
All dogs.
are lovable dogs, but some need to be shown the ropes a little bit, shall I say.
That's about the humans. So
sure, it's always the humans. But yeah, these are great dogs, swell dogs. They get to the apartment, and this lease conversation came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
to
and
me.
I was very surprised that it's coming from Chris.
I am and I'm not. I mean, he is very like, well, leases need to be renewed within 60 days or you're penalized. Like, I can see that's his mindset. He's very structured in that way. But I was surprised that he would address this because to me, he seems like he would be willing to do anything for love.
Yeah, I think he maybe is being cautious. Here's my problem with this. Like, I understand the thought process behind it. Yes, like they don't know if they're gonna stay together. They don't know what's gonna happen a couple months in, right?
Yeah.
But locking the apartments both for 9 months is a long time. I would maybe extend the lease by 3 months. And if by 3 months things are shitty, then you'll know. Then you can extend it for a year and you're good, right?
Or you could go month to month. And I know it gets more expensive to go month to month. And maybe it's very privileged of me to say, like, okay, so if you had to spend an extra $1,000 to go month to month, not an extra $1,000 a month, but it's usually like $200 more a month. So if you had to go $200 more a month for 5 months to figure it out, fine, you're in a better position to then move in together when the time is right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like it one bit. I was surprised he said it, and Nicole didn't like it one bit either.
No, and again, 9 months is a long time. Like, I get it. You need to have some insurance, right?
Sure.
But locking both apartments for additional 9 months.
It's too many months. And I like what Nicole said when she's like, so we're going to go from living together for 2 months to not living together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important part. They're not just dating now and then, okay, well, we could move in together at the end of 2 months. You're living together now.
Yeah.
So you're going to totally go in reverse. And we always say that's the worst thing. A lot of these couples, they will decide to, even if they stay together, well, I'm going to keep one of my places.
Well, I only said that it was okay with Jasmina and what's his face in Boston because they were not on the same page. They weren't in love. They weren't being intimate. They were just friends, right? So for that case, I'm like, I get it. But Chris and her are like a couple. They want to be together. They're doing all the right things. So for them, that wouldn't make any sense.
No, I don't like having an out. I don't like that there's somewhere to run to when things get tough. You need to face the issue and solve it together. And it doesn't make sense to me. And the other confusing thing is Chris really seems like the type of guy who would sacrifice anything to make somebody else happy. That was the impression I got of him in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then the crack started to show. It was last episode when he is not willing to part with a dog or part with his dogs. And you go, wait a minute, he's not willing to sacrifice anything because, okay, the dog thing, understood. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the lease. He's not willing to sacrifice that. He's like, nope, here's the plan. We're gonna sign for 9 months, and that's that. There was no conversation. There was no compromise. And he's very rigid, and it seems like I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yep. I got the same feeling, and I'm surprised because I already thought that he's just gonna be the policer that he says he is.
Unless he got so hurt by his ex or whatever.
I think he did.
Whatever this person was that he went on vacation with who refused to bang him, that now he's being so protective.
Maybe. Also, he has the dogs. I feel like the dogs are just his babies and they still come first.
Yeah.
So he maybe thinks about the dogs too. Like, honestly, they're big dogs. I don't know how easy it is to find an apartment complex or an apartment to move in with 2 big dogs. So maybe he has a good situation there too. So
Then rent a house. Huh? There's so many little neighborhoods around Nashville. Go rent a house.
Yeah.
There's options. If you want to make it work, there are options.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He's starting to put up these hurdles, and I'm going, that's interesting, because I really thought you were willing to do anything.
Well, let's see, because PC is about to visit everyone, and he's going to start with these guys.
I'm so glad we have some early expert interaction because I feel like last season, I don't think we saw them until decision day. And it was
I
like,
don't
who are you
think
guys?
PC and DP liked San Diego. They were like, meh. But they're all about Nashville.
Yeah. So PC shows up. He wants to know how things are going. Chris says, they're good. I heard Nicole's a hothead, but I haven't seen it yet.
And Nicole is like, well, that's not true. And then we see this Nest video, and I found it so funny because usually we see Nest videos of them, like couples fighting and throwing things at each other.
tragic.
Yeah, and this is just Nicole complaining about the wedding photo the production team sent them.
To the Nest
To the
camera.
Nest.
Like she
Like,
was playing.
This sucks.
She was playing to the camera. It was funny.
Yeah.
It was likable. And yeah.
I hope she was joking. Like I know. Like,
Oh, she was. She was saying
let's
it
say
with a smile.
she did dislike the photo, sure, but I think she knew what she was doing. So
Oh, completely. So he's like, okay, yeah, I guess, you do get some sort of way sometimes, but he's not worried that Nicole will walk all over him. And he brings up the lease discussion. We're going to renew both leases for 9 months. And PC's response is just like, why?
I'm with PC. Again, as you said, maybe do month to month or do 3 months and then see if you need to extend it or if that's the time to move in. But like 9 months is just a long ass time.
9 months is a year. There's
Yeah.
literally no difference between 9 months and 12 months.
And especially because it's 9 months starting 2 months from now.
No, I don't think so because I think I guess you're right.
No,
'cause
he
the
said
60 days,
oh, I have 2 months notice.
Right.
That's why I have to tell them this week.
Now, let's take a step back and be real here for a second, because I don't think either of us would suggest that people move in with each other probably before they've been together for 9 months. Like if we had friends and they started dating someone and after 3 months they're like, oh, we're going to move in together.
Absolutely fucking not.
Absolutely not. But this is a different game here, right?
It is. I honestly, like, it's hard to put a timeline on it. Everyone's different. Like, I think you and I took a while, but we were together all the time. But the actual move in, I think we did like year and 9 or 10 months in. Like, it was cool. Oh
really?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I was only in my that studio apartment. I feel like you knew me for a year in that.
No, I remember we started talking about moving in together, like potentially in the future, when I took you to Czech for the first time. And we were together for a year at that point.
But I was in my studio apartment for not very long. And then you went with me to look at my next place.
Yeah.
And once I rented that place, you were basically there every night.
Yeah, but we weren't like living together.
Not
it's
officially.
very different. Yeah.
But it very
that's
quickly.
different. Like we officially moved in together like in a year and 9 or 10 months in. It took us a while.
Here's the real reason I don't like the whole 9-month thing, which is basically what Nicole said. We're going from living together to not living together. You're taking a step back. And whether you actively realize this or not, that's going to have an effect on your relationship. You are taking a step back. It is becoming less serious than it once was. And then it's just so easy to keep backpedaling to the point of just being friends or acquaintances. And to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does not.
So PC's like, you need to just act like you're going to be together forever, because Chris's whole thing is like, well, things are great now, but I don't want to be homeless. And he's like, you have this negative mindset, right? If things are great now, focus on the now. Don't focus about what if.
Yeah, and I think Nicole's there because apparently, and I don't like this really, and I don't think PC does either, she asks him every single day, if today was a D-Day, what would you say? And so PC suggests not to do it because maybe one day he's going to be in a bad mood. And
Or you'll be in an argument, and then you'll ask.
Yeah, and then he's going to say no, it's going to put something in your head. But here comes the hot-headed Nicole. She's like, I respect PC, but I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. So I'm going to keep asking, bitches.
And we talked about this a bit last time. I think it was more about, do you love me? Do you love me?
Yeah.
Like, it starts as a joke, and she admitted it here. It started as a joke, but now I ask, and I think there's a little bit of she needs reassurance. Like, yes, it's a joke. Yes, maybe it's cute, But the real reason she's asking is for reassurance. And you shouldn't need to ask. You should just feel that. You should just know whether someone's going to say yes or no to you.
It is reassurance for sure, but also, you know how we have so many rituals, and I'm not going to go deep into this, but they all started as a joke.
Sure.
And now we've been together for 7+ years and we still do it all the time.
Yes, but they never started from the same place this is starting
That's
from.
true. They never started from me or you
was-
being worried about how the other person feels.
Right. It's basically, I'll give an example of one, which is just like,
Ooh.
instead of saying, okay, good night, Teresa, we have like our own little good night. It's
Well,
like
we
double
say it in
knots.
Czech,
Like,
yeah.
but like those are little things that, yes, they started kind of as jokes or one-offs, but they stuck. They became part of who we are. But it was never a test. And what this
True.
is a test in a way.
True. Well, but everything else seems to be going well
Oh,
because
very well, Teresa.
because they have banged.
We have consummation confirmation.
One of the C's.
One of the C's, it's a good C. We haven't reached compromise yet. Communication seems
That's good, yeah.
pretty solid. So
They have 2 out of 3 C's.
let's get a little
Not
compromise going from the other C, which is Chris.
Bad. Yeah.
And they'll be great. Yeah, it happened just the other week.
And
it seems
was like in the movie. They
like
looked at each other and they banged, and hopefully Chris knew what to do because I don't think he really knows. So I guess maybe Nicole had to maneuver him a bit.
take that bathing suit off and bang me like your dog is banging that couch. I think that's probably what it
Well,
was
that's
like.
what Nicole said. Like if that's Chris, if Chris is learning from his dog, we good.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, you live with a dog bangs, you have nothing and no one to bang, so you might as well take notes.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Show me your peanut butter, Chris. Let's just say that.
What?
Nothing.
What does it even mean?
If you get
is
it,
it
you get
because
it.
like the dog?
No.
Oh,
Some people put peanut butter on their intimate parts and let the dog go to town.
no,
So I've heard.
no.
I think it's a joke.
Who does? No,
I think it's a joke.
You just no. I don't know what shocks me more, this or the fact that Stacey and Florian are gonna pay $13,000 for a cake.
I would not let a dog eat that. Let me tell you that much.
No, people don't do that.
We'll look into it. I don't really want that Google search on the computer, but
People don't.
no, I mean, people don't. Like, it's not like, well, it's Friday night, pour a glass of wine and lather up the peanut butter. Like, people don't do it that way, but I think people have done it or people have talked about doing it.
Oh,
So I think it's very illegal, Teresa.
I'm shocked. I'm like,
Are you?
yeah,
Women have sex with horses.
really?
You've never heard of the horse shows?
Oh my gosh, what porn do you watch?
I'll send you a link. Let's move on. Let's talk about, we're going to go from a somewhat happy couple to a very unhappy couple.
Yes, let's talk about McKinley and Dominique.
Yes. So we're checking out Dom's place. And you can see Mac, he's already been hurt. He was hurt on the honeymoon. Now, just minute by minute, day by day, he's feeling more insignificant.
Yeah.
And he's standing outside her place and he goes, well, I'm the big loser that lives with my friends and my family. Like, yep, that's my story. He's so beaten down and feels so emasculated.
I feel bad for him because, and I hope that's true because he says, well, I just moved here. I wanted to see what's going on. I didn't bring my dogs here just yet, but my business is going well. Like, money's not an issue. Like, I don't live in a basement because
Right.
of my money issue. I live in a basement because it was a good situation for me to decide what I want to do, what I want to live exactly. And I kind of get it.
I knew since episode 1 that he worked in the marijuana business.
Yeah.
But this was the first episode where I go, oh, he's a stoner. Like, he's just, and I don't want to generalize stoners, but you smoke weed, you get a little lazy, and that's that, and you're comfortable sitting in a basement all day. He's a stoner.
Is he?
I think so.
He doesn't look like.
He does, and that's why it took me so long to wrap my head around it. But he's just chill. He's cool. I'm going to stay in the basement. I don't care. It's easy. And he's not worried about finding a place of his own. He's got the money, right? It's not about that. He's just like,
I'm
it's
sure
chill.
he's comfortable for sure.
It's chill.
But she sees it as like, ew, like you live in the basement of your family friends, which I don't I would see it as an issue if he was unemployed,
Right.
doing nothing with his life, then I would have a big problem with it. But that's not the case. So that's why it's fine.
It's also, talk to me more about the future. I don't care what you did in the past. That was before me. That was BD. That was before Dom. What do you want to do now? Are you willing to move out? Do you want to get your own
Yeah.
place? Let's talk about the future.
And he does. He was talking about it because Dominic is upset that he's not even asking her about the apartment. He's not trying to see anything.
It's a fine line, though. Like, you don't want to go in there and start sniffing panty drawers, but you do want to be like, oh, nice place. Like, I don't even think he said, oh, this is a nice place.
I just think he's upset because I think they're going there right after they left his place. So
Sure.
now he's kind of beaten down and she's kind of like, oh, this is my house. I'm proud of it. And it seems like a nice apartment.
But he could have that place, too.
I
That's the
know.
strange thing about it. Is like, he's not, I don't think he's not jealous.
No, I don't think he's jealous. I just think he feels hurt.
Right.
Because he says it. So like they kind of look at the apartments. She packs up a few things thinking maybe I shouldn't even pack, right?
Yeah.
And they leave.
He
and
shouldn't have.
Yeah, she shouldn't have. So they talk in the car and he kind of tells her, she's like, every single day, there is just something you don't like about me. And the apartment or where I live, it was just another thing on the list. And I feel for him in a way.
And then, as I said at the top of the show, though, who runs the show? Dogs. Who runs the show? Dogs. He's going on about, oh, you don't really care about what I think or what I feel. And he goes, my dogs mean the world to me. Having my dogs on the furniture. That's all I dream about, dogs on furniture. That's all I want. And Dom, not the best response, but a logical one, goes, if you liked your dog so much, I feel like they'd be here with you.
Yeah.
It's
but
kind of a good response
It
for
is,
someone
but-
who's been without their dogs for 5 months.
did you see that basement? You think
Yeah.
dogs, like, how many dogs does he have?
But then, so get your own place with your dogs.
Yeah.
If you care that, I wouldn't have said it in that time because things were already tense. But that's the appropriate question to either ask yourself or ask Mac, which is, okay, you talk about your dogs that they mean so much to you. Well, why did you leave them behind for 5 months? Why aren't you doing everything you can to get them here with you?
Yes, and that's not the only issue. The issue for Mac is also that she hasn't even asked about the dogs.
You don't want to know their names. You don't want to see pictures. I kind of get that. I guess like you do want someone to be interested in you personally and professionally and find out about your family and your pets. Like, I get that.
It's a great small talk too.
But it just seems like he's been bottling these feelings up for a while and now it's all coming out.
Yeah, it's hitting him in the head.
Yeah. So we get to the new apartment. Things are still tense. And Dom's basically over. Like, I'm not going to have these petty arguments about the dogs. And for Mac, it's not about the dogs. The dogs are just what he's using to express himself. But he's feeling like he's not enough. That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah, and the only time we don't see Mac drinking red wine is when he's driving. The rest is like he's just enjoying a glass.
Enjoying a glass of red wine and just wants some credit for that damn horseback riding. That's the only thing he's done. But he's like, I went horseback riding, and that's the only thing he has. That's the only defense he has.
Well, here's the deal breaker. Dominic says because of his negative attitude, she does not want to live here. She does not want to move in. She's not feeling it. So luckily she hasn't unpacked yet because she's going to roll her luggage back straight to her place.
Yes.
And so then we have PC visiting, and apparently...
This is 3 days after
Yeah.
Dom moved back to her place.
And they haven't spoken since. So this is the first time they're seeing each other and talking to each other.
So Mac with that red wine. Once
Classic.
again. Dom, what was she drinking? Was that like some Powerade and vodka?
I don't know.
I don't know if she was drunk, but when she walked in, she was like, hey, Pastor Cal, do you want a drink?
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I'm going to pass on the drink, but they were definitely drinking something.
Oh, they were drinking.
And they get right into it. Dom's like, we both feel like there are things on our list that we didn't get.
And that's what I said last time. Well, what I said is like, I thought that Meg did get what he asked for, but I don't think Dominic did. And here's the issue. Dominic says she wanted someone adventurous, outgoing, positive, right? And Meg said, oh, I wanted someone who's going to get me out of the shell, but maybe like once a month.
No. What he said is, and this is hysterical, PC's like, so Mac, you don't take risks? And he goes, if we're talking like sailing and riding horses, I do that like once a month. No, you don't, Mac.
I thought you said I would.
No, I'm pretty sure he's like, I do that like once a month.
I mean, once a month's it's not bad, but.
No, it's if you go horseback riding and sailing once a month, it's pretty incredible.
But Dominic wants someone who's always doing something adventurous because she's just exhausted making Meg do things. And I get it. Like forcing someone to do something you don't want to do, that sucks for both.
Yeah. This is one of those couples, we get them every season, where PC has so much faith. The experts have so much faith. We thought this was the perfect match. When we paired you guys up, we thought what could go wrong. And for me, it's too early to tell, but they're definitely not trying, right? They're throwing in the towel pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I can see them being matched. I can see them potentially being compatible because she's very chilled. And yes, she likes adventures and all that, but if you think about it, she's not like an adventurous person that she travels the world and is always on the plane, always doing something. It seems like she likes her local adventures. She likes hunting, she likes fishing, she likes things that he can do with her. It's not like she's asking him like, yes, and we gotta go on this trip, we gotta get on this plane, we gotta do this, because that type of a traveling or adventures, that's what we do, that's not for everyone, right? But going fishing on a lake on the weekend, that's like right behind your house, like that's not that crazy ask. And I feel like that's something Meg would actually enjoy. Just pop some gummies, dude, and go and get some fish.
Yeah, I don't think she's asking too much.
No.
And that's their only issue really is he's not adventurous enough. And then, all she's doing is complaining about me not being adventurous enough. So it's like, okay, can we just meet in the middle somewhere? Like, let's do a low-key adventure. Let's every weekend or every other weekend, let's go for a hike or let's take out the fishing rods. Let's do a low-key adventure and just try, right? Again, no one's asking you to skydive.
Yeah.
No one's asking you to free solo climb. Like, let's just try, because I don't think there's a huge issue unless they're not attracted to each other and they're just trying to skirt that issue by blaming it on this adventure. But I think they're attracted to each other, judging by the first impressions that they told us.
Yeah, I think that's why I see what PC sees. Like, I can see them working out. But as you said, I think they both are kind of like, this is not what we wanted, and they just don't feel like putting the work in.
They're not going to put the work in. And the one thing that boggles my mind is when Dom goes, yeah, Mac lives in the basement. It's a turnoff for me. Even if he had 4 roommates, that would be better.
That would be worse for me.
He does have 4 roommates. They just live upstairs and they're family friends. Like, what are you talking about?
No, but for me, honestly, I wouldn't judge anyone's living situations really, because, we all do what we can, right? But if you want someone mature and responsible and someone who's trying hard, living with 4 roommates means that, you need that extra help to pay rent, to do this, to do that. Like, this is a situation that, oh shit, I just moved here, family, friends live here. That's a good setup for me to get things going so I can get my own place.
Yeah, it's just a grass is greener thing, and she thinks, that would be better if he did that.
It really would not be better. Like, imagine staying over at his place with 4 roomies.
No, please, no. Maybe she thinks she'd have someone to go do an adventure with. All right, you're not going to go. I'm going to take Kyle. We're going to go do an adventure.
Like 4 roommates, that would have to be like a 5-bedroom apartment with like 4 bathrooms. And...
yes,
otherwise it's just out of control.
That's what I did in college. It was me, 4 other guys, 2 bathrooms. You don't want to be living in that situation when you're 30.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
late 20s even.
What she said was just like, no, girl, like, no.
If you had 1 roommate, Sure.
Oh, one
Cool.
roommate's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal.
With
Four roommates.
Come on, lady. So then PC asks the big question. What do you guys want to do?
Yes, and that's where it ended. But we saw them in the preview, so I don't think they threw the towel in just yet.
Let's
But
see.
let's see.
It could have been, well, we have some news to tell you.
Yeah.
We're no longer together.
Let's see. I feel like if anyone's gonna give up, it's gonna be Dominic. I think she would
yeah.
be the one throwing the towel, like definitely.
No, I completely agree. All right. Before we move on, I think we should take a quick break.
Okay.
We're not throwing in the towel. We're just taking a little break. When we come back, we will, it gets good. I think it's been good, but it stays good. We're going to talk about Gina and Clint. We'll be back in a second. And we're back.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Teresa. How are things over there?
Over here, I mean, across this picnic table.
How are things on your side of the foldable table?
Great.
I wonder what people, we've peeled back the curtain quite a bit. We posted a little behind the scenes video of the podcast. If you haven't seen that, it's on our Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. You can scroll down a ways and see a little BTS. But when you listen to podcasts, don't you always imagine and wonder what their situation is? What are they? Where are they?
We've been through a few setups. We've tried out.
We started in the closet. Now we here.
Well, it was a closet in a different apartment, and it was a bigger closet. Now we have two closets, but they're smaller. That was one closet bigger. We could both fit in there comfortably with our picnic table and two framed photos of seals.
That apartment was on more of a busy road, so I think we heard the cars going by, and we were like, we need to get a little secluded here to record. But why did I say that? Oh, because the foldable table. Yeah, I don't think people picture a foldable table with a can of Celsius, a large thermos of whatever. Who knows what you have?
It's water.
A glass of water, and
I'm just trying to hydrate. I get the headaches.
oh, you stay hydrated. Let's do it. Let's talk about Gina and Clint. Clint is paying a visit to Gina's apartment. He probably just had to take the elevator 2 floors or walk down the hall because let's not forget they live in the same building.
It is my thing. So he comes in and the apartment's nice. It's one of those tall buildings.
It's like lofty-ish.
Yeah, tall buildings with glass, not ceilings, glass
Windows?
walls. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Glass walls, right? And Clint is like,
Don't throw stones.
oh, you have a nice setup here. Oh, this looks nice. Dude, you live in the same building.
I know. The only thing you can really comment on is the decor. Is your bedding. Because what are you going to say? Oh, you live in this building? It's like, no, you live there.
Yeah, because he said
too.
it. They said they live, if anything, he might have a different view or maybe a different model.
Right.
But
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. So he gets the quick tour. They start chatting. Clint is all in. And whether he actually feels it or wants it or what, he says the right things. And I'm glad because he fucked up.
yeah.
He, 2 strikes early on in this. And I think he's trying to pull himself out of that hole he dug.
Here is my big question. If he didn't make those comments, would Gina be in?
100%. I think
You think so?
I think 100%. I mean, the comments are pretty hard to come back from.
True.
I think the comments are pretty, especially, and I don't want to judge Gina or hairstylists in general, but her life is about physical appearance.
Yes.
She's committed her life to physical appearance, to making herself and others feel beautiful. And so when someone comments on her looks, it's going to hit harder than probably someone who doesn't really care about looks.
All women care about looks.
Sure,
Let's
but
just put it out there.
everything's on a spectrum, and some care more than others.
True.
Come on, let's be honest.
Well, what Clint cares about is this very comfortable bed, or what is it, the fluffy?
Oh, I think it's a dog bed.
Well, I don't think it's a dog bed. I think it's an actual chair.
I thought that's what
lazy
Fluffy
boy.
had.
Well, Fluffy doesn't have such a big bed.
Oh, she's Fluffy.
But-
get on that.
But that's a regular. What do you call it? Lazy boy?
No, it's like a beanbag chair, but not.
Beanbag chair. I love it, but Gina said, well, that's where Hank sleeps.
Right.
So
It's a
it's
dog
like
bed.
it is his bed, but I don't think it's a dog bed, and I think it's something we can get to be closer to us getting a nest without spending $5,000?
I am not going to half-ass a nest, Teresa. We're either going to get a nest or we're not going to get a nest. There's no substitute for the nest.
That's true. I hope they still make the nests.
Except no substitutes for your nest.
I hope they still make the nests.
We should look into it.
We should look them up.
So, okay, here's the thing. Clint's all in. He's ready to live together. He doesn't think there's going to be any surprises. We've been through the worst of it, I think he feels. Gina, not so optimistic about this.
He's like, maybe we should put the pedal to the metal with moving in because, I don't feel comfortable. And I was like, really? I didn't expect it from her.
Oh, I kind of did after, obviously, the honeymoon debacle. I wonder if the fact that they live in the same building has some factor in this, because they essentially could stay in their own apartments and live together in a way.
Yeah. And honestly, okay, she said, well, we're not progressing. I don't feel like we are where we should be or at this point. That's why I don't want to move in. But if you don't move in, you will never get there. Right? And so later on, her argument's going to be she thinks living in the same place in separate bedrooms is worst, which I don't think so. You get your own bed, you get your own bathroom, you do your own thing, but you can watch TV together before bed. Maybe you do some cuddle sesh, you cook, you hang out, right? If you're going to be home, that means like you go to work and then you go home. You will have to go the extra mile to spend time with Clint.
100%. You have to go out of your way.
Yeah.
You have to make time as opposed to just, I mean, that's the big argument for everyone to get back to the office, right? We all worked from home for 2 years and everyone's like, get back to the office because it's those water cooler talks that really make all the difference. And it's the coffee pot talk at the house that makes all the difference. It's those unplanned moments. It's those, all right, we're just hanging out, we're chatting. Oh, what a great conversation. Sure. So if you don't want to sleep in the same bed with the person, I can understand that. My question would be, we had the slender athletic comment and we saw how that went. But then they spent the next night or two or three on the honeymoon together in the same room. So you already got over it in a sense, unless you went to a different hotel room and we didn't know about that. But you already got over it to a sense. So just continue down that path, right? If you could sleep in the same bed with him after the night of that comment, just keep doing it.
Yeah, well, let's see what's going to happen because we see them in the joint apartment, right? But Gina says she's still not ready to move in together. And Clint's not liking it, but he's like, of course I respect it. I cannot force her. So whatever it takes.
He's not forcing it, but I'm glad he's being vocal about how willing he is, because he does need to prove that I do want to be here. I do want to make this work.
And he feels like I do, and I think a lot of you guys, about that she should move to the spare bedroom, or he'll take the spare bedroom, she can take the master.
Sure.
And just spend the time together.
Yes. So knock at the door.
PC.
He wants to know what's going on. The first thing out of Gina's mouth is, well, I saw Clint when I saw him for the first time. I was into his hair. I was into his beard. Is this not the exact opposite of what she was trying to tell Clint? Like, oh, I'm not usually into guys with this light beard and hair. It's like, what? See, you are attracted to him. You were just trying to get on the defense or the offense because you knew or felt like he wasn't attracted to you.
Well, she says, I always find something to be attracted to. And with Clint, it's his head, it's his beard. I think she is not attracted to his pale skin and smaller build because she was saying before, I like my man tall, big, and dark, right?
Sure.
So that's the opposite of Clint. But she probably likes the hair and she likes the beard. And that's what she's focusing on as to being attracted. However, there is still more. That's not enough. And after he told her that, well, he likes them slender and athletic.
Yeah.
she doesn't feel too sexy for him, and apparently that means that he doesn't find her attractive, which Clint says is not true.
Well, and PC is like, how could you not find this woman attractive, Clint? And he's like, no, I know I messed up. And those words are now forever out of my vernacular. But he's so quick to say, okay, I'm sorry, but, and then he'll bring up the ginger comment.
Yeah, I think he just feels like he's being attacked, and there is something that she did, or she said that he feels hurt about, and maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but I almost feel like that's kind of like, all right, you keep talking all this shit about me, well, here's what you did wrong.
But two wrongs don't make a right.
Oh, I agree. Well, I was thinking about it. So he said he's going for more slender and athletic. That's definitely a hurtful comment, but he was saying like, well, athletic, I meant by people who, like, athletes. And in a way, it's like, for me, it's like, all right, so I get what you're saying, because I would not call you athletic. I would call you fit.
You wouldn't call me athletic?
I would call you fit.
How dare you, Teresa?
Because...
Teresa, I was varsity tennis 4 years in high school. How dare you?
No.
I played rugby in college.
I'm going to explain myself.
What sports did you play, Teresa?
None.
Exactly. It takes an athlete to know an athlete.
I don't think I would never call myself an athlete.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, Teresa.
But listen.
I'm very offended.
Listen.
No, I'm not an athlete.
No, you cannot.
I'm athletic. Wait, what did you say? I'm not an athlete?
You're fit.
No, but what did you say? I'm not an athlete or I'm not athletic?
Athletic, because for me...
How dare you?
No, stop
I'm not an athlete. I'll give you that. I'm not an athlete.
You're not athletic. You know why? When you say athletic,
so offended.
I picture people who are being actively playing tennis. They're actively playing soccer.
I played hockey every Sunday until COVID.
Yeah. Do you hear all the past tense in your sporting adventures? So when you say
2 years
athletic,
ago, you would have said I was athletic?
I would say you're trying.
I mean, hockey's my worst sport.
But listen, I say you're fit because you go to the gym, you work out, you take care of yourself. I think I am fit. I do the same. Am I athletic? Absolutely not.
I need something stronger than this Celsius.
When you say athletic, I picture people with muscles or people with...
It's getting worse, Teresa. I'm glad we have 2 bedrooms in this apartment.
People dedicated to the sport. You're not dedicated to any sport.
That's why I would say I'm not an athlete. I think that's the difference. I'm not an athlete, but I am athletic. Like if we went out to the basketball court, I could go dribble around and shoot some hoops.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
That's still what is your definition of athletic? I agree. There's athletic and there's athlete. Athlete is someone who's actively playing sports at a probably decent level.
So maybe I don't understand.
Athletic is just someone who can pick up a ball. I could pick up a football and throw it to a receiver and they could catch it.
I can do that too.
I think you're probably athletic. I don't think you're an athlete.
But here's the thing. For me, when you say athletic, my opinion or what's the word? My understanding of the word athletic is a person that's an athlete and is doing the sport on daily basis.
Okay.
That's for me. So for me, when you say...
That's the wrong definition.
Really?
Of course.
No, it's not.
You don't have to do it on a daily basis. Which word should we look up? Athlete or athletic?
I feel like athletic...
Let's look up athletic because I agree I'm not an athlete.
You need to do that every single day. Otherwise, you're fit.
Athletic.
Yeah.
The definition. According to the Oxford Dictionary. We're not messing around here. Athletic. Physically strong, fit, and active.
So I'm athletic then.
Yes.
So
weightlifting is a sport.
Yeah.
You lift weights every day. I would not say I'm physically strong, but I would say I am fit and active.
So you are athletic
I'm
too.
athletic. I'm not an athlete.
You see, this is confusing. I think the Oxford Dictionary, is it like Wikipedia so I can change it?
Yes.
I think someone needs to put some disclaimer on this.
All right. Let's move on.
It seems like athletic is the same word as fit. That's what you just read. That's what you just read.
Yes,
but
in so many words.
Those two have a different meaning.
The difference, I think, between fit and athletic for me is athletic is a little bit more, eye-hand coordination. I think if you're athletic, you should be able to swing a baseball bat and hit a baseball. If you're fit, you're in good shape. You can walk up 20 flights of stairs and not get winded. I think that's the difference.
It's just nitty-pitty.
It's all semantics, Teresa.
Yeah. All right. So then, based on this Oxford Fancy Dictionary,
We're both athletic.
We're both athletic.
We're not athletes.
No.
Okay. Gina brings up how she hasn't moved in. She doesn't feel comfortable moving in. PC, of course, not happy to hear.
Yes, because he's like, okay, well, you both signed up for this. How are you going to get to know each other?
Well, I love when he said, because I've never heard anyone put it this way, the idea of let's live separately, the idea of let's stay apart and figure it out. He goes, who are you figuring it out with? And I was like, that's so right. Like, you're not together to figure it out. So who are you figuring it out? You're left alone with your thoughts. And that's no way to solve this.
That's not. And PC got real. PC was like,
yeah.
All right. So do you want to get married? Oh, do you want to stay married or do you want to get a divorce now? Like, what's going on?
Who would have thought we'd have this question twice? Episode 8.
I know.
We thought, literally watching previews the last couple of weeks, we're like, is there like a mid-season decision day that we don't know about?
No, it's just these couples are not
These
doing
couples
well.
are not good.
No, and so here's what Clint says. Clint says, no, I'm committed. I committed to this process. I want to spend more time getting to know Gina, and I want to stay married. I want to see if we can make it work. And so does Gina, however, from her own apartment.
Yeah.
She starts crying, and PC's like, okay, like with the tears, like.
First, he tries to sell them on separate bedrooms, which you heard our take on it. We think that's the right move. She kind of feels like, well, no, that's even worse. And
how is it worse?
Agree. Because, I don't know, you've acted like you're so close, but yet so far. I don't see how it's worse. She just doesn't feel comfortable in the same space as him, which I say is bullshit, because unless you got your own hotel room the last couple nights of the honeymoon, you've already spent multiple nights with him after those rude comments. So, like, you're somewhat over it. So I would say just keep fighting through. Don't take those steps back.
Yeah.
But they're going to do.
She's in. She's like, let's see if we can make it work.
Yes. All right. Next.
Jasmine and Aries.
Who runs the show?
Dogs. Oh, all these puppies.
Let's meet these 9 puppies. Chris could have brought his dogs here. Drop your dogs off at Jasmine's mom's
because
place.
someone's going to be taking care of these pups.
Yeah. Before the pups, we see the Shrine to Jasmine.
Yeah, the puppies and tiaras.
Oh, is that a new show on MTV? I was surprised Aris didn't put the crown on himself.
He's like, I asked for a black queen and I literally got a black queen.
So then be happy, Aris. You actually literally got everything you asked for.
Yes, and he kind of likes the dogs too. He likes the puppies. He likes the Mama Duchess.
Those are tiny swellers.
Tiny swellers, yeah.
Who would not like those?
They're the mini golden poodles, doodles.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would not like those little babies? He wasn't as thrilled about Duchess the mama dog, but I think who could be upset with these guys?
Who doesn't like puppies?
Who doesn't like these guys?
Well,
so then, yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's go to PC's visit, and this was interesting because I was like, all right, PC. I can see PC doing what he's doing for a living.
He was good this episode.
That's what I'm saying.
He was very good this episode. He wants to know first impressions, of course, and Jasmine says, Aris, he's easy on the eyes. When I saw him, I thought, all right. And then PC goes, well, what about the honeymoon? How's that going? And Aris will take every opportunity he can to announce how attracted his wife is to him and how unattracted he is to her.
It was so bad.
It's not as bad as being like, well, I wish I had a slender wife. But he's basically saying, I wish I had an attractive wife. Yeah.
And poor Jasmine saying, all I want is for him to wanting to rip my clothes off.
Hello.
That's all she wants. And Peace is like, excuse me, Jasmine, can you repeat it?
He started gnawing on his glasses. I was like, take it easy, PC.
Oh, yeah. And then Aries gets into this spiel of how he didn't feel himself on the honeymoon. And okay, Did he say something about if he did feel himself, he would be doing R&B videos on the balcony?
Yeah. D'Angelo Brown Sugar. He's like, normally I'm a very sexual person. I'd be on the balcony shooting an R&B video, but my mind wasn't there.
Who is this person?
Eris. Have you met Eris?
Yes, but Jasmine, I like her personality. She's like, all right, you know what? Let's see how things goes. Because PC was like, all right, Jasmine, tell me what you like about Eris. And she just likes his honesty, even though it hurts her. She likes that he is driven, has a work ethic, works out, right? And then PC was like, okay, Eris, what do you like about Jasmine? And what he says is great. And I feel like... I feel like, okay, I see what you're doing, PC, because he's like, I love that she works with kids. And then did you hear him? He was like, I love like that she works with kids.
He corrected himself?
Yeah. not to sound too much. Right. But he's like, I like that she works with kids a lot and the dogs.
She's a great role model.
Yeah. And so all these great things. Then PC was like, you see? And do you think she's attractive? And he's like, yes, it's just we have different types. I get it, but... Love what PC said. He's like, so here are things to be attracted to. Start there.
Right.
And you also admit that she is attractive. So it's not like you're like, oh, absolutely fucking not. She's maybe not the type of a girl you used to go for. Doesn't mean that with all these good qualities she has combined, you cannot.
And she's also very attractive.
She is very attractive, you moron. Did you see the tiaras?
Right. She is objectively attractive. Here's the thing I'm trying to make sense of. He's brought it up a couple times. And we know his father has passed. And he's now brought up 2 episodes in a row. You know, I think about if I died, I would die peacefully, knowing she'd take care of the kids if we had them. The last episode was, well, if I was in the hospital, I would know he's a little morbid. And I don't know if it's the loss of his father weighing on him.
I think so.
But he's always thinking about death.
I think it's because he lost his dad as a kid and it was a murder.
Yes.
I think that will do it to you.
And I'm trying to piece it together in my head of, okay, what about this mindset is keeping him from getting close to her? And I don't know if he's scared of losing her too. So he's trying to come up with any excuse to stay further apart. Oh, she's not my type. Blah, blah. Because he's always going to this death place, which is very interesting. To say it once is, okay, I get it. But to now say it in consecutive episodes, I'm like, you're thinking an awful lot about death.
It's just another thing that sucks about him.
I don't
like him. I really don't like him. Here's the thing. He thinks he's better. I feel bad what happened to his dad. I feel bad that he still hurts. Absolutely. I feel for him. However, he's an ass.
Yeah, he's not great.
Yeah. So... yeah, let's see. But
they need to knock on the door, let a sex basket be on the floor, and explore each other's body.
Well, I think it's gonna happen
because that's what PC says is like progress with the physical touch, hold hands, and then yes, it will move forward.
And to that, Harry said, "Yeah, that feels natural. I like it." And and he keeps holding her hand. So I honestly think he's in his head. Mm-hmm. Maybe he likes, and he said it. Girls with big booties, and her booty is just too tight and too small, and that might do it to him. He might be like, I cannot be married to a small butt.
I guess nobody's perfect except my wife.
Someone learned a lesson. Someone learned a lesson. Someone doesn't want to see a therapist.
All right, do we have one couple left?
We have Kirsten and Shaquille.
Kirsten and Shaquille.
Right. We're seeing Kirsten's house, and I'm very surprised how bad it is.
It is serial killer vibes.
I honestly pictured her like a queen, like nice bed, nicely organized, and it's almost like she tries, but it's not Gina's bed, right? No, I pictured some art. I pictured her having organized, color-coded closet, like. Who is she?
But that's her personality. She's a bit drab. She's a bit meh.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even have nightstands.
No.
The question that needed to be asked, and I don't think we have this answer, how long has she lived there? Because if she's been there a month, okay, 2 months, okay. If you've gone like a year, you're still putting your cell phone on the floor next to your bed?
No, she puts it on the bed.
What are we doing here?
Well, Shaquille's like, okay, well, that's a little different than me. Let's see your closet. Let's see the disorganized closet.
Yeah, it gets worse.
You can see Shaquille's non-existing hair, just sticking out of his head.
It was a mess.
It was a mess. I was getting anxiety
But at least that looked lived in. You're like, okay, there's life in here.
True. Shaquille needs to do what I did for you.
Oh, boy.
Reorganize her closet and do a video.
There you go. Step by step.
Didn't you find it helpful? You're messing up. Sometimes I
Am
see.
I?
Well,
sorry.
you put your black shirts on top of your black shirts with a graphic. That's not what we discussed, John. That's not what we
I don't
discussed.
know. There's a separation between those two.
There was a graphic tees, there are plain tees.
You see what I have to deal with, guys?
Yeah, and sometimes I see.
And I'm not even an athlete.
And sometimes I see putting your hangout shirts in your pajamas.
Out there.
Mixing with your pajamas.
Sometimes
shirts.
you do that. The last time you did laundry, I went to my sleep shirts and I was like, this is not a sleep shirt. And then I got offended because I was like, does Teresa think this is a sleep shirt?
Oh, but if it wasn't the sleep shirts, then I decided that it's time.
Is she trying to send a message?
I decided that it's time.
How dare you?
I think about it. I think about those type
I
of
think about it
things.
too.
Oh, no.
All right. PC at the apartment. He, of course, wants to know what's going on. How's the marriage? Kirsten says everything's feeling very natural. So how was the honeymoon? And their big issue, of course, is that Shaq likes to joke a little bit. And PC, like all men, he's like, listen, my wife thinks my jokes are corny. I don't care. I still deliver them. And I feel you, PC.
Yeah, we joke, and I think the other person should just roll with it. Even if it's funny, good. If it's not funny, just accept it. But here's the thing. If your spouse or your significant other makes horrible jokes, but you love them,
Yeah.
it's easier to brush it off and laugh it off than if it's someone you're getting to know, you're not attracted to, and they're doing all these jokes on top of that.
I completely agree. And I think there's a difference between Shaq's jokes and Mac's jokes.
I like Shaq's jokes.
I like Shaq. Yeah, whatever.
Mac needs to...
Mac's jokes are just weird lies. Well, I sail about once a month. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So then PC wants to know, how's the chemistry? Is there any chemistry?
And here's the thing. Kirsten was like, well, not really. But Shaquille is like, that's not true. We cuddle, we kiss, like I kissed your forehead, we were hanging out all the time. And then she's like, well, okay, there is some.
So here's my question.
I think she doesn't know what it really is. Look at her apartment.
Yeah.
I think she must find him attractive just for the simple reason, I keep saying it on every freaking episode, she lets him close to her. Sleeping in the same bed is a big thing. Cuddling on top of that you need to allow that person to do it.
But what
They're
I'm
not
struggling,
putting a pillow in the middle.
What I'm struggling with is maybe she's just invested in the process, because how many times on this show have we seen PC or Dr. Pepper be like, you just need to try, like hold hands. And so maybe she's just doing it without them having to say to do it.
I don't think so, because I think if she doesn't want to do something, she's going to tell you. She's telling him his jokes are too much.
True.
If she was trying, she would just swallow it all. I don't think that's her personality. She's a boss babe. She's just going to do whatever she wants to do. And because she says everything's going great, it's so natural, we cuddle, we kiss, we hold hand, that's chemistry. I just don't think that maybe she ever experienced it besides, oh, I see a hot guy, and that's all to it. He has a bald head, not her type, but there is other type of chemistry that she's experiencing, but she doesn't, I don't think she understands it, but she acknowledges it. She's like, okay, well, there is.
I just realized that's why I laughed. I'm so glad that Kirsten didn't bring up the bald head issue while PC was sitting right
Well,
there. She'd be like, so the jokes and the bald head, Kirsten? Really?
no, I really think that there is attraction. She's probably not like, oh my gosh, he's a hottie, but I think she loves everything else about him. She said it multiple times. He's everything I ask for. She just doesn't understand that being attracted to someone is not only, oh, you're hot.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, because I don't think she understands the full range of emotions, because she's like, I just wish Shaq would stop joking so we could have an emotional connection. And it's like, well, like laughter and joy and happiness, like those are emotions too. Emotion isn't just like sitting on the couch solemnly discussing your feelings.
No, I personally think that they're good together, and I think he can bring some emotions to. I don't think she's very emotional. I think he is more.
I don't either.
And I think he can bring something into her world, and hopefully she'll allow him so they can make it work.
I hope so too. PC thinks they're the perfect example of a power couple.
But he says something that he's like, you guys can either make it and be super successful, or because you both are so successful and independent on your own, it might be a disaster.
Right. You could use the power together or against each other.
So I hope they'll make it. I really, truly do hope they'll make it.
Yeah. They're probably, after Chris and Nicole, like the most likely to succeed.
Because I'll tell you what, Kirsten, there are not that many successful, well-educated guys walking around there and being just looking for a wife. I think there are some, but what you're looking for was very specific, right?
I disagree. I think there's successful single men looking for women all over the place.
Yes, but not her level of success. She wanted someone super educated.
Sure.
She wanted someone to be a certain way, right?
Sure. And at that age, I guess you can say 30s. Yeah.
But also, yes, there are a lot of successful single men who love being successful and single.
Very true.
Let's put it this way, right?
I put it that way. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I snapped you when you were in your 20s, so I got lucky.
Yeah, but I'm not athletic.
Well, apparently, based on this Oxford
I am athletic.
dictionary,
Yes.
you are, my love. You are athletic, and so am I.
Thank you. All right. I think we've said a lot.
Said a lot.
We've said a lot, Teresa. So that is the episode.
Yep.
Follow us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Chat with us. We'll post some memes. If you could like them, that'd be fantastic.
Share.
Share the
Give it a
memes.
share.
Share the memes if you're so inclined. Also, join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Married to Reality. We got Darcey and Stacey up there. We got some Love is Blind After the Altar. We got some other fun things. So Patreon.com/Married to Reality. Also, check out the collab we just did with Constant Reality Check. We talked about Perfect Match.
And all kinds of things.
Talked about all sorts of things. It was a fun collab. It's a fun show. So check that out. Thank you guys again for the reviews. If you haven't left one, please do. And last but not least, make sure you're following the podcast, the one you're listening to right here, right now. It's so easy to do. You just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as all the dogs.
Who runs the show? Dogs. All right. I've said it all. Have you said it all?
I've said it all.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.